Okay, well, I really wasn't planning on making a follow-up video on this since I thought it was pretty much dead in the water. So I did end up finding a compression kit. So went out and did a compression test, and unfortunately we were only getting about 30 psi. And just like, you know, the other small engine stuff here we've been working on, low compression, it's kind of tough to justify doing a ring kit on this because the ring kit is no longer available, and the only one I could find was about $80. So on top of that, I was pulling off the cover in the middle and I found out the drive belt is pretty much shot, so that'd be another $30. So you're talking a little bit over $100 to put into this mower, and to me it's just not worth it. I think it's end of the road for the old White here, so definitely maybe it's worth fixing for somebody, but you know, I've just ended up getting a free mower last year that needed rings done, so did that, and it's in much better shape. So this one, we have the head torn off of it, and we were checking the valves, and the valves are good, just low compression, so it's telling me probably the bad rings, and it's just not worth it to change it. So we're gonna put this one back together and see about just using it for parts or something, or whatever we can do with it. Okay, so it just tore the head off, and you can see that the piston itself is in pretty decent shape. We actually have the honing marks on the cylinder still, so that's pretty good. Our lifters are looking good, they're moving okay. So really, there's only one thing that can be wrong with this that I can think of causing low compression, and that's going to be the rings on the piston. So to me, it's just not worth fixing for the price. And maybe if we find a better project, then we can justify fixing it. But until then, I think we're just going to put this thing back together and call it a day. Okay, so kind of going in reverse order. Here's the head off of our mower, have our exhaust here. These are our two lifter springs, and our two push rods are going to go down through these holes. They're already installed here, and we'll get the rockers back on. So let's get these lined up. Take our intake manifold bolts out. Didn't want to lose those. I guess we didn't have to put our lifters in just yet. Get this exhaust manifold lined up first. There we go. Start some of our head bolts. The only tricky one was this one here. It was down inside the rocker assembly. Okay, easy enough. Bracket first, then stud. Just line up our push rod with the rocker in the round spot. So the rocker has a little round countersink that goes into the over the rocker for oil, and then the other side just goes right on top of the spring here. And then to set them, we're just going to go top dead center on one. Where they overlap, we're going to just drive 1/4 thou clearance on it. Right there, when our exhaust is fully closed and our intake just starts to open, we want 1/4 thou there. barely, and then jam nut goes over top. That'll do. Okay, well, that's the head put back together, and unfortunately, like I said, the kit for the piston rings are about $80, so not really worth fixing. And of course, even if I did that, I took this panel off, looking at all this, and this drive belt is pretty much ready to go. And that's a pretty significant job on this machine. I need to take a bunch of pulleys and stuff off, it seemed like, and that belt itself is about $30, so just not worth it to me. So unfortunately, guys, I think we're gonna give up on this one. So the old White is done. So last summer was its last cutting, and we're gonna retire it. So oh well, it happens, and you know, you just got to move on. And we will still try to find some good small engine stuff to fix, but until then, I will see you on the next one.